Did you have a child born in 2021? What about if they were born after the stimulus was paid out? Does that mean they're out of luck? You don't get one? No. I'll explain coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so it seems like a long time ago, but there was a stimulus that was paid out in March of 2021. That's right, an economic impact payment was part of the American Rescue Plan Act, if I'm getting that right. It was $1,400. It's a big amount, okay? Many people received it in March. Lots of people received it in April. Guys, there's still some trailing, and some received it in December. Gosh, what a mess. But $1,400 for you, $1,400 for your kids. They even solved well, if you're age 17, you get it. They solved some of the young adult children stuff in this plan as well. So hopefully that's all sorted out. And I've told you before, if not, it'll get sorted out on your tax return. However, if you had a child born in 2021, okay? What if you had a child born in 2021, and specifically, what if the stimulus payment was made in, April, and you had a child born in November? Does that mean they're out of luck? Because listen, the stimulus was back in March, and you had a child at the end of the year, so you're out of luck. There's no stimulus. Well, that would be logical. That's just not the truth. No, they're eligible for a stimulus as well. In fact, even though you should never have a child just for the tax credits, right? They cost way more than what you receive in tax credits. This, for 2021, babies born that year, if you're eligible, I will review that in just a second, would be worth $5,000. $5,000 of tax credit. It's never been more profitable to have a child than in 2021. Why? Because that $1,400 stimulus that I'll explain you will get, even though you didn't receive it in advance like most people did, paid out in March or April. But they're also eligible for the highest child tax credit ever, right? That has been moved from $2,000. It was $1,000, then it got moved to $2,000, then it got moved to $3,000. But if you have a child younger than age 6, it's $3,600. $1,400 stimulus, $3,600 child tax credit, $5,000. And it gets even better. Now, this one is a direct expense, but if then that baby, you had to pay a child care facility, a caretaker, a nanny, something like that, to watch that child, you could be eligible for another expanded credit, child independent care credit, on top of that. So crazy. It was a great year to have a kid. And so the main point of this, though, is if you had a child in 2021, but after the stimulus was already paid out, you're still eligible to receive a stimulus payment for them. Let me tell you how you get it. I've shared with you before, we've been doing these stimulus payments since 2020, okay? And then there was this one in 2021 as well. These are tax credits. It's an actual tax credit. Yes, they call it a stimulus. They may call it economic impact payment, whatever. It's a tax credit that they're paying out to you in advance if the IRS thinks you're eligible. Now, are you actually eligible? Now, it is based on your income and your adjusted gross income. So your adjusted gross income as a single filer needed to be below $75,000. If your income was above that $75,000, but between $75,000 and $80,000, then you got a partial. And if you're, as a single filer, if it was above 80, then you're not eligible for any of that economic stimulus payment. So that single filer's head of household, $112,500 is that threshold you needed to be below to receive the full stimulus amount, the full that economic impact tax credit. Slightly above that, again, it gets reduced. Far above that, and no luck. For married filing jointly, then that your adjusted gross income needed to be below $150,000 in order to be eligible. And then again, between $150,000 and $160,000, you got a partial. Over $160,000, you get nothing. So here's the thing, okay? That's a tax credit that you're eligible for if your income levels are below that amount. When they first approved this and started paying it out in the spring, they looked at your most recently filed tax return. Your most recently filed tax return, if it was at or below those levels, you got the stimulus. Whether your your income was going to be above those limits in 2021. If your latest filed return was below those limits, you got it. Okay, you got it. If your income, when you actually file your 2021 tax return, is above those limits, but you already received your stimulus, no problem. You don't have to pay it back. You're already paying it back in higher inflation, higher cost of goods. So you don't have to pay it back to the IRS, okay? But if your previously filed, most recently filed tax return was high enough where you weren't eligible for receiving that stimulus, but then when you file your 2021 taxes, you did some creative tax planning or whatever, and now your income's below that threshold, say you retired, something like that, you will get that tax credit as your economic impact payment, your stimulus, as a tax credit when you file your 2021 tax return. And that's how it will work for those kiddos, those babies of yours that were born in 2021. Basically, if you're eligible, this one, you've got to make sure that you're eligible, your income's below those limits. If it is, then that child, that baby's economic impact payment, that tax credit will show up on your tax return and it will boost your refund. That's how you will receive it. The negative would be if you were eligible for the stimulus based on your most recently filed tax return in the spring, but you didn't have that baby then, and then now when you file your 2021 tax return, you're not eligible, then you will not receive one for that child, okay? Because it's going to be based on your income as you file it right now. So, have you been doing tax planning throughout the year? If you were close to these thresholds in order to get the full stimulus or not, have you been doing the proactive tax planning? Did you shift your Roth contributions to your 401k into pre-tax contributions in order to stay below this level? Did you max fund your HSA? Did you do some other things? Avoid selling that crypto or avoid even gambling with Robinhood, right? So your income didn't get above those levels so that you can get this stimulus. I hope so. If you didn't, there is still time. There is still time to take a look and see if there's anything you could do right now to reduce your adjusted gross income and qualify for more of this stimulus if you got limited or if you had a child in 2021 and you need to make sure that your income stays below this level. Work with your certified financial planner on that. That's their job. They're supposed to provide clarity and confidence, but creativity. And this creativity is what options exist for you to reduce your adjusted gross income and ensure that you qualify for as much stimulus as possible for those kiddos that were born in 2021. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team that can help you with that, you can always contact one on my team. Find us online, korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.